It would be nifty if the world countries that have deserts were to work to reclaim them. Now, when this world was created, it was verdant, green, and trees and grass everywhere. But I read in history where somewhere around Iraq, one of the big sultans over there decided to use the environment as a weapon, and he there was a certain river running, and he dammed it, and it swelled up and so on. And when the enemy approached, he just bust the dam and drummed everybody. But in doing that, he diverted the river, and the river never ran again, and that area began to become desert. Because you see, it's a cycle. While the water is going along where it goes, some of it goes back into the ground, and so on. And in diverting it, it meant that what would go back into the ground never went, and so it's not cycling again. Another thing that could cause water to disappear is if you cut down the trees, because it seems as if God provides for the trees. And while trees are there, it's wet, it's damp, it's swampy. But as soon as you get those trees out, the water disappears. And of course, you could explain it in a lot of ways. In that, because the trees are there, it's kind of like cool, and it's not exposed to the direct sun to vaporize and so on. But hey, a wind passing through and so on, but God somehow protects them. And when you're driving across the United States from Florida to California, you see the green everywhere and so on. And when you get into Texas, you begin to see it start to thin out. And it's sparse and sparse. And then you get into New Mexico and to Arizona, you're seeing the red soil. And then you get into California, again, more desert and so on. But up north California, there's some grass and so forth. So, what to do? I think that a lot of the leaves we throw away and, yearly, and the trees and so forth, they were to chip it up and grind up the leaves and mix it up together and start from where you have the desert starting. You spread it out there, you plant grass and trees, and you take wastewater or the water that's going to the sea. It doesn't have to be purified, and you get it there and you keep the place well irrigated, and you keep going further and further. And eventually, if you were able to reclaim, like in the Middle East, for example, if you were able to reclaim that whole desert and make it trees again and grass, it will change the environment. You will have rain falling there now because it's going to create its own transpiration of fill and its own little ecosystem and so on. And you'll be surprised to know that you start getting rain over there. The rain just won't soak through the ground. It will be, there for the vegetation and so on. And birds will come in, fish will come in, and you have a new ecosystem and a new life. I think this should be a project. Let us try to see if we could reclaim deserts. Little at a time, using unpurified water that is used already, head into the sea, use that, put the fertilizer from the animals in there and so on. I think this would be a major step in sort of tempering the heat, the rising temperature in the world. In Puerto Rico here, they say the polvo de Sahara or whatever. So they're saying that the dust from the Sahara comes over this way. And in high school biology, you'll discover that the mixture of air, it's, rare gases, oxygen, nitrogen, dust, water vapor, carbon dioxide, and so on. And the dust and other particles in the air sort of prevent the heat from rising up off the ground and going back into the air, so that it tends to create some more heat around. So if we were to be able to neutralize or eliminate that dust from the Sahara, and most dust bowls, if we could just plant things and the plants with the roots, everything just keep things together with the moisture that it holds and so on, dew, etc. It tends to cake up the dirt, and so it doesn't have the ability to be taken up with the wind. So I think this would be a good project, and we should think about this and start trying to reclaim the deserts.